What's going on, everybody? You are listening to the S3. I am Jeff Demers, aka JD. She is Ms. Marnie Tisdale, also known as Ms. Lady M. Lady M, how are you doing today?
It's finally Friday.
It's Friday, but it's Friday before the big game.
Yeah.
And the weather just changed again outside. I think it's cloudy. Is it cloudy already?
I can still
Ugh.
see a little blue out this window.
Ugh.
But
I'm out the wrong window. I'm out the wrong window. I think you're actually looking like that way compared to where I'm at.
Yeah, you're
So,
looking at Frank Lloyd, right? And I'm looking more towards the 101.
yeah. Thanks for giving away our location. Stalker alert. All right. No, you didn't. All right. So, today we actually got a really good show. We have a special guest coming on. You know, fool me once, yada, yada, yada. This is his third time on the show. What's wrong with this guy? We don't know. Mr. Jason Anderson.
Love to have him.
Mr. Anderson, he is back. He is coming around for the third time, and he'll be visiting us in the first quarter. Real quick, though, shout out to our main sponsors, No Boss, No Rush. Check out NBNR's new MV Me lineup of fresh gear today. You can check them out, all of their gear, their latest gear out from NBNR on their website. The link is posted at the top of our Facebook page in our featured postings. Also, if you're looking to start your podcast, you can get a 1-month free trial of Podbean's unlimited hosting plan by going to podbean.com/Coach JD. That is spelled, by the way, JD. Just an FYI. If you're listening to me, I mean, really, how intelligent are you? Let's just call it what it is. All right. We've got a few thousand followers. We're not the sharpest group, but they're very loyal, and I love them for that.
Bless them all.
Thank you for listening. That's why we can actually have small sponsors. So, like, we haven't had the big people answer us yet. They've responded like 5 Hour Energy. Just to give you an idea, this is what, for those of you watching on the live, this is kind of where I've been at all week. These are empty.
Yeah.
It's only Friday. There's more than 7 here. All right.
That listens later.
But hey, look, I'm just the guy that uses them. The enabler is the one that keeps purchasing the 15 per case ones for me. She shall remain nameless for right now.
Oh, like I have a choice.
With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it. What is first?
Headlines with horrible dad jokes.
Hey, look, we warned you ahead of time. They're horrible. They're terrible. They're really bad. If you use them and you get slapped, that is on you. Headlines with horrible dad jokes, starting with headline number 1. Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson wins the NFL MVP award with 49 of 50 first place votes. Bills quarterback Josh Allen got the other first place vote. This has basically become a quarterback award. They might as well just come out and say it. This is a quarterback award, right? Because the fact that Christian frickin' McCaffrey, who is playing this
first
weekend,
I thought of, I'm not gonna lie,
didn't get any first place votes. Do you honestly think the San Francisco 49ers would be not saying that they wouldn't make the playoffs? Do you think they would make it all the way to the big game without Christian McCaffrey?
No, he's their key. He's their key player. I would agree.
Unbelievable. With that. It is. It's basically a quarterback award.
Yeah.
All right. Why can't you trust a tree?
I don't know.
They just seem so shady. Right across the face. All right. Headline number 2, Devin Hester highlights the 2024 Hall of Fame class. He's the first kick and punt returner. Now, natural kick and punt returner. Like he's not a cornerback that return kicks. He's not a wide receiver that return kicks. He was a traditional kick and punt returner. That was his job. They did try him on offense once or twice. He did pretty decent, but he is known as a returner. He is the first to be voted into the Hall of Fame. Hester finished his career with 19 career return touchdowns,
nice.
on 5 kickoff. He had 14 punt returns to kick it. Don't kick it to him. How about that? Let's try that. Don't kick it to him. They never learned. Now he's in the Hall of Fame because they were too stupid to learn. I'm a former special teams coach. Now, granted, I only made it to semi-pro because I was only semi-good at what I did, but I knew if the guy was really good at doing what he does, don't kick the ball to him. I would rather kick the ball out of bounds and give it to him on the 40 or the 35, or wherever the hell they put it nowadays. Devin Hester, if you remember, also returned the opening kickoff to Super Bowl 41 for a touchdown. Why? Because they didn't listen. They didn't understand who he was yet, apparently, and they kicked it to him. Now, lucky for them, the Bears were playing the Peyton Manning-led Indianapolis Colts. Colts ended up winning anyway. So, other members of the 7-member class of 2024 are defensive end Julius Peppers, most of his time in Carolina. Defensive end Dwight Freeney, played most of his time on Peyton Manning's Indianapolis Colts. Linebacker Patrick Willis, who was on the Niners. Wide receiver Andre Johnson, one of my favorite wide receivers out there. When he was playing, he was always on my fantasy football team. Most of the majority of his time, he was with the Houston Texans. And then you've got linebacker Randy Gradishar. Gradishar was a member of the Orange Crush defense of the 70s Broncos. And then you've got defensive tackle Steve McMichael, who was on the Chicago Bears that beat the Patriots in the 85-86 season. So one of the best defenses, pretty much arguably the best defense out there for teams in the Super Bowl era. All right. In school, they only taught me 25 letters of the alphabet. I don't know why. I don't know why.
That's pretty good.
All right, moving on. Headline number 3. Thursday morning, the fire alarm went off at the 49ers team hotel in Las Vegas. I believe they were actually at Lake Las Vegas, is where they're staying. But it went off. This is pretty much a routine now during the week of the big game. George Kittle, whose alarm was actually set to go off 7 minutes after the fire alarm went off, said he just got up and sat in the bathroom for 18 minutes until the alarm stopped. Pretty sure it's not what you're supposed to do. They did say it was a false alarm. Christian McCaffrey, on the other hand, didn't take it as well. Said, I think there's no way it's random.
Yeah.
It's just more wood on the fire.
When we were in Florida, you were at the convention, the fire alarm went off in the hotel.
Yeah. Yeah, those are always fun. Standing outside, be like, do I even need to do this?
Yeah.
Look, it's a fire alarm. Go outside anyway.
Sorry.
I'm just saying. Yeah, go outside anyway. All right. So I started reading a book about anti-gravity. It's impossible to put down. Who writes this crap? Who's worse, the person that writes it or the person that says it? That's the thing. Headline number 4. I like this one. Former Patriots offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien, who actually took the Ohio State offensive coordinator job last month, has now been hired as the next head coach for Boston College.
Nice.
Yes, my Eagles. If you're watching,
should be able to see a dramatic improvement there then.
Absolutely. They finished 7-6 last season. They made it to a bowl. They beat number 24 ranked SMU. So there is promise. Now, O'Brien, who is actually from Andover, Mass, he is a local. He has a son that goes to nearby Tufts and plays basketball there. His wife, Colleen, is a Boston College alum.
Neat.
That's so, fun. Yeah, he has New England roots. And, his last name is O'Brien. Brian. Fits in pretty damn good. Jeff Hafley, BC's head coach for last season, has actually left to become the new defensive coordinator of the Green Bay Packers. Interesting there. What do you call a child that refuses to take a nap?
I have no idea.
That would be resisting a rest. Resisting a rest, people.
The real little
Again,
kids
if you use these,
FOMO is real.
Use these at your own risk. Okay, we tell you from the beginning. Headlines.
You'll get young ladies in stores in the mall rolling their eyes
oh my
at you
God.
and saying you're not funny.
I got to tell. Okay, so we're shopping down at Fashion Square, right? Because it's the thing to do when you're in Scottsdale. You got to go to the mall and walk around and look at all the shit that you can't afford. So we're walking around and we actually come across, well, it was like a game, like an old school game.
All board games and card games and puzzles.
And we're talking about dad jokes, and we happen to be in front of the young lady at the front desk, and I'm like dad jokes are awesome. There was a book of dad jokes. That's what it is. I was like, dad jokes are awesome. I'm like, do you agree? And she just looks at me and she goes, no, they're not.
Deadpan, straight face, not funny.
Dad jokes. Speaking of dad stuff, Patrick Mahomes has been getting a lot of flack. He even fielded questions on Media Day about his dad bod. He did. He said, and I think he stole this from me. He said, I've got abs of steel. The dad bod is actually covering it. That's my line.
There is truth to that. You can be pretty fit and still have a layer of fat hiding all the muscle tone and stuff.
Yeah. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that.
His performance on the field makes me think he's probably a bit more fit than people are giving him credit for.
Well, he's definitely more fit than me. I'm just saying that. Okay. Fit, he is a lot more fit.
In shape are two different things. I think people get them confused a lot.
Well, yeah, I can see that. I've actually been looking up because I very rarely leave the house. Rarely. Like, even when you're like, I'm going shopping, do you want to come? I'm like, no, not really. I don't really like to leave the house because I've got everything I need right here in front of me. Right? We've got the games. We got multiple TVs, big screen TVs in the living room, so I can have a game on here. I can have a game on there. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Speaking of games, by the way, are we going to start our own fantasy NASCAR and baseball leagues?
Sure.
Question mark. If you want to do a league, if you're listening and if you want to jump in, we'll make it a free league. Maybe we'll do like a championship belt. If we do a championship belt, though, we'll have to do a buy-in because those things usually cost like $150, $200, right? We'll
start with free and see what kind of interest we get, and
we'll see that. We'll say it's free to see if we can get enough people in, and then we'll vote to see if we want to actually do the trophy, right?
Yeah.
So, because I know this would have to be a trophy that you actually just give away and don't expect to it's not like the Lombardi Trophy or the Stanley Cup, excuse me, where it travels around from place to place.
Right.
This is one of those if we do a fantasy trophy for baseball season, we would actually have to just give it away and not expect to get it back. Yeah. Maybe our special guest, I don't know if he does. We'll have to ask him. He's actually waiting in the green room right now. Maybe he'll jump into one of our fantasy leagues. I know they got Kansas Speedway out his way. So let's go ahead. Let's jump into the segment. What's our next segment?
First quarter, big game talk with our special guest.
So, speaking of our special guest, our very special buddy who hasn't learned a thing from being a guest of ours, he just keeps coming back for more. Ladies and gentlemen, Please welcome to the show the host of The Zone from Sports Radio 810 out of Kansas City, Mr. Jason Anderson. Jason, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you guys?
I'm doing really good, man. How much do you actually get into like NASCAR? Do you go to the race?
So when I moved back to Kansas City in 2019, I went to the race. I think it was around October, I think is when it was in Kansas Speedway. That's the one and only race I've ever been to, which is crazy because my, cousin worked in pit crews, for like 15 years. He went to pit school in North Carolina and then was bounced around different teams, but NASCAR is not something that I ever got into, except for just like trying to keep tabs on him from time to time. But yeah, the Kansas Speedway back in 2019 is the last race I went to.
Yeah, we try to go to at least one. There's 2 races a year out here at Phoenix Raceway. Yeah. There's the March race coming up in a couple of weeks. If we don't get to that, we definitely try and get to Championship Weekend, which is also out here at Phoenix Raceway. So if you can make it out here, if it's too cold on your side in November, come out here.
Yeah,
and sweat it out with us on the infield and have a great time and all the concerts and stuff. So.
No, it was cool. It was a great experience. They took care of us because I had moved back and they were doing a partnership with the station, and so I got to do like the lap in the pace car before the race and everything, and so that was cool. That in Bubba Wallace's pit crew with his family,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that is very cool
to see that. Yeah, so
we're actually doing our review of NASCAR Full Speed on Netflix. Have you had a chance to watch that yet?
Not yet. I want to watch it because I know so many people got into the F1 series, and I'm like, you know what? Let me check this one out with the NASCAR. But I haven't started it yet. But it's definitely in the queue that I want to start watching it soon.
Well, it's a good thing we're having your segment first, so you can listen to that, and then don't listen to the review in the third quarter because I want to hear your thoughts first. I do have a quick question for you, though. Do you know who pulled the alarm at the 49ers hotel?
Well, we talked about it today. I'm surprised at some of the comments coming out of the 49ers and like some big conspiracy or nefarious deal that took place there. What I think happened is they're in Vegas. And I think that I'm pretty sure that's not the only fire alarm that's been pulled in Vegas. And if it was really something that was like crazy or some conspiracy, why would they do it like 5 minutes before the wake up call? Why wouldn't they do it at like 2 or 3 in the morning? Why, like McCaffrey was like, well, it was 7 minutes before I got up and I'm just upset about the 7 minutes of sleep that I lost. Like, wouldn't it be like 2 or 3 in the morning and wouldn't they do it Saturday night?
Hey, look, maybe the guy that planned on doing it at 3 missed his alarm and he just
They went to one more casino. They went I got to get back and pull this alarm. Come on, man, one more. One more. Going to go to this roulette table real quick and then we can go.
I'm going through this list of suspects and I'm like, okay, you're free because you're staying back because you got a baseball team to coach. Yeah, you're coaching. As a matter of fact, right after this, you're actually going to coach your son's baseball team, right?
Yeah, but we have winter workouts every Friday. So,
all right, so you're clear. But I mean, what about Briscoe? Like, would Josh do it?
He might. He's not there either. We got our guy Seren is there, and he's the guy that lived in Vegas for a long time. So if there was somebody that might know his way around and the lay of the land, he lived in Vegas for like 6 or 7 years.
Hey, we might be able to put up a lineup. What about what is it? Chad?
Chad Boger. Yeah, Boger. He's out there. He could definitely do it. I think he could definitely do it. He's got some powerful friends in the radio industry, so I think maybe figure it out. I don't know. Like that, the security around those hotels are crazy. Like when in Miami, when the Chiefs were there and we went to their hotel to do some interviews, but like if you walked in the lobby to get any further back, like you had to have a certain key card that showed you were staying there. Right. And to get closer to the elevator, you had to have a key card and then an ID. It couldn't be just like, oh, I gave my friend the key card. No, you had to specifically be staying there to even get past that. So I have no idea how somebody would be like. I don't know where the fire alarm's at. Is there one by the front door? Like,
there's usually one down
as soon
every
as you
hallway.
Walk in, you just,
like it literally could have just been some nuts staying there.
Like, somebody just smoking something in a room. That
you know what though? That reminds me because when we first met, I was actually your Uber driver.
You were
when you were in town for the big game when they were here.
Yep, that's
right. And just to get to you, I had to go through like multiple like military style checkpoints with bomb sniffing dogs.
Hotel, right?
Yeah.
It was at the team hotel.
And that wasn't even to get to the front to pick you up. That was to pull up to the barricade about 100, 200 feet away from the front. To wait. I had to go through bomb sniffers. I had to show them I was an Uber driver. I had to do like everything just to get that close. So somebody either staying, it had to be inside job.
Yeah.
It had to be. All right, moving on. All right. So the first thing I want to ask you, I'm going to give you a little bit of challenge here right from the beginning. I need 3 keys real quick to the Chiefs winning the game, but here's the rules. Okay. You can't use Mahomes, Kelsey in your 3 keys, but however, I will accept a Taylor Swift reason of why the Chiefs are going to win. So go 3 keys right now.
Let's see. The first one is going to be the Chiefs' run defense against the zone run. The 49ers are really awesome at the outside zone, and the Chiefs have struggled this year at stopping outside zone runs. Miami runs a similar offense to San Francisco, and the Chiefs were really good at stopping that and limiting that. I think with the Chiefs defensively focusing on that and knowing that's going to be a big part of their team, the fact that the Chiefs secondary is one of the best in the NFL, I think Spagnuolo has taken the approach that he is going to leave his guys on an island with 2 of the best probably cornerbacks in the NFL in quarterback tandems in McDuffie and Snead, and do what they can up at the line of scrimmage to limit the run game. So I think that's the first key to the game. The second one is going to be the exact opposite on the other side of the football for the Chiefs. It's going to be Isaiah Pacheco if he can get running, because the 49ers have struggled against the run. Now I'm talking about the Chiefs struggling against the run. So the 49ers certainly could put all their focus and effort into stopping the run. Difference is their secondary isn't that good, which would bring in the Chiefs quarterback, whose name shall not be mentioned right now. If they can run the football and get that going, I think that's a key. And the final key, which is probably the most important, is Taylor Swift.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you guys did not know, her lucky number is 13.
Yes.
So this is Super Bowl 58, which 5 + 8 is 13. It's played on February 11th, which 2 + 11 is 13. This is the 13th game Taylor Swift will be in attendance for. They are playing the 49ers. 4 + 9 is 13. The 49ers are the 1 seed, and the Chiefs are the 3 seed, which is 13.
That is awesome. First off, I know you didn't figure that out. So kudos to your staff.
No, not at all.
For figuring that out.
That's awesome.
So I picked the Chiefs to win by 13. I mean, I think it's all signs. It's pretty obvious what's going to happen. But yeah.
Oh my God, I'm almost in tears. That's freaking hilarious.
Yeah. I'm glad you gave me an out to pick a Taylor Swift key, because I'm like, oh, that's perfect. Everything.
I just threw that out there, just like there's no way in hell he's going to lean that way.
Well, it's the biggest.
You nailed it.
It's the biggest.
You absolutely nailed it. Let's go over some actual game bets and props here real quick. So the line in this game is current. It's not 13. It's currently favors the 49ers.
I like
line
the
is 2.5.
line. I like the alternate line. Chiefs minus 12.5. No.
Oh, wow.
No, they win by 13. No, go ahead.
Niners got the favorite, minus 2.5 on FanDuel, minus 2 currently on DraftKings. San Francisco is actually projected to win this by 5. What are you thinking? Obviously, you're a Chiefs guy. Give me which way you're leaning on this one.
So the Taylor Swift stuff aside, I do think the Chiefs win the game, and obviously, being in Kansas City, take it with a grain of salt. That's fine. I look at it the way that, if we look at the regular season and how the teams are playing now, I think they're going in opposite directions. I think the Chiefs are playing their best football, and the 49ers defense has struggled against the Packers and struggled against the Lions, and those are and offensively, they weren't great against the Lions. Certainly in the first half, they weren't great. And the Lions defense is not all that good. And the Chiefs defense, I think, is one of, if not the best in the NFL. So I think the Chiefs have the better defense on the field. I think the Chiefs have clearly the better quarterback, and they have the better coach and coaching staff. And so if I look at those 3 things and how the Chiefs are playing, and Mahomes has been playing next to perfect football this postseason. It's been brilliant. I looked up in a 3-game span in his career. So these 3 games when he's completing 73% of his passes, averaging, 270 per game, and doesn't have an interception with 4 touchdowns. It's the 5th time in his career that he's had a 3-game span that good. And it's happening in the playoffs, and 2 of those are on the road. So the issues that were going on with the Chiefs this year during the regular season, a lot of those have been alleviated. They're not committing penalties. They're not turning the ball over. If they turn the ball over against the Ravens, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. It'd be, Ravens and 49ers being played on Sunday. But they're not turning the ball over, and they have committed fewer penalties than all 3 of the opponents they faced in the postseason, which is different because they committed more penalties in the postseason than their opponents 12 times in the regular season, I should say. So that's been changed as well. So I think those 2, the way the teams are going and how they're playing now at this point, I think is a big factor into it. And I think the best unit on the field will be the Chiefs defense out of the 4.
All right. Let's go through some prop bets here real quick. I mix it up. I got players from both teams. Starting off with George Kittle, over under 49.5 receiving yards.
I'm going to take the over in that. And the reason I'm going to go over in that is because I think the Chiefs secondary and their cornerbacks are really good. That, we've looked at what Stephon Diggs is able to do. Tyreek Hill had the 1 catch for, 45 yards or whatever for a touchdown. But outside of that, he was shut down. Zay Flowers had the big broken coverage play. And that's when L'Jarius Sneed, who plays cornerback, they moved things around and he went to safety. And he talked about it after the game that he came up to make a play and didn't even see Zay Flowers get behind him. Well, he's not a safety. He's a cornerback. I don't know that they want to do that again. But that was also the same drive where Zay Flowers fumbled into the end zone by L'Jarius Sneed. So he got it back. I like what the cornerbacks have done against wide receivers. So I think there's going to be more of a focus on getting Christian McCaffrey going, which should be the focus, but also George Kittle as a tight end. So I'm going to say over with George Kittle.
All right, let's talk about one of those 49 wide receivers here real quick. Brandon Ayuk, over under 59.5 receiving yards.
I'm going under. I'm going to go under with Ayuk 59.5 receiving yards. I think if there's a receiver that gets over that, it might be total yards Debo, but I'm not sure what the total yards will end up being for him. But I think Ayuk might have a tough go of it because L'Jarius Sneed, who should have been an all-pro cornerback, Trent McDuffie is an all-pro cornerback. He's their slot corner. But their outside corner, L'Jarius Sneed, who's going to make a lot of money this offseason for a team, not the Chiefs. He has been matched up, and he's followed teams' number 1 wide receivers, and his numbers are staggering when he covers the number 1 wide receivers. When number 1 wide receivers on the other team are targeted with L'Jarius Sneed, the quarterback has a rating of under 40. Quarterback rating. He's going to make a lot of money. He's going to make a lot of money.
Oh, yeah, he is.
So that's what would concern me about Ayuk is L'Jarius Sneed's probably going to travel with Brandon Ayuk in this game.
Projection puts him at 84.3. With that being said, I'm leaning towards your argument. I actually agree with you on that, and I would take the under as well. Brock Purdy, over under 31.5 passing attempts.
I'm going to go over because I do think the Chiefs are going to be able to limit the running game. I think that's going to be a major focus for the Chiefs. And so I think they're going to want Brock Purdy to beat them. We saw what happened with Lamar Jackson a couple of weeks ago, whether that was Todd Monken just forgetting that they like to run the football, or it was, Steve Spagnuolo and his personnel out there was sort of forcing the hand of saying, we're going to keep our heavier personnel out here and we're going to play for the run. And if you want to keep doing that, that's fine. But we don't think you're going to be successful at doing that. So we're going to make Lamar Jackson beat us. I think they're going to do the same thing with Brock Purdy. Not that they don't think he's a good quarterback. I think they're going to look at it and go, if Christian McCaffrey runs for 150 yards and scores 3 touchdowns and they win the game, I don't know that Steve Spagnuolo, that would sit well with him. Just in general, losing the game wouldn't. But if Brock Purdy goes off for 370 and is just brilliant, I think that's one of those to where you go, all right, he proved it, tip of the cap, and, he did his thing. But I think they're going to make Brock Purdy prove it that he can do it.
I'm going to go over. I think it'll be closer to 40 attempts for those exact reasons, but the projection barely puts him over at 32.7. So let's talk about a few of your guys. Rashee Rice, over under 67.5 receiving yards.
This one's, man, that's close. That's right on it with Rashee Rice. I'm going to go over on that one because the secondary for the 49ers is not great, and I think there's going to be a lot of attention paid to Travis Kelce. And Charvarius Ward is a guy the Chiefs are very familiar with. You know, he was on the team last year as a cornerback or 2 years ago with the cornerback, and he got paid a lot of money by the 49ers in free agency 2 seasons ago. So this is his second season with the 49ers. And one of the things that I was reading, and this is not my stat because I will not be able to break down football the way that this was, is that on in-breaking routes, okay, now you're getting into the minutia, but in-breaking routes, Charvarius Ward struggles with. It gives up some of the most gains. And Rashee Rice's best this year has been in-breaking routes. He's been the best on the Chiefs. So I don't know if they go to the well a lot or if that's just one of those where, okay, how often are they going to run that? And if they do run it, does Mahomes have time? Is that the main read? All of that stuff. But I think it's going to be right around there. But I'll lean over because I do think the Chiefs are going to want to run the football a lot in this game. I don't know that they're going to want Mahomes to drop back 45, 50 times in this game. So I'll lean over, but I think that's probably right on. It's probably one I wouldn't touch, to be honest with you.
I'm taking the over, and I'll be all over it because the projection is 87.
Wow. Yeah.
87.
Yeah. Look, if they focus so much on Travis Kelce, Rashee Rice has proven that, yards after catch, it's been his thing. I mean, he's 15 yards after catch away from breaking the rookie record for a postseason, which is Jamar Chase. Nice. Same rookie that played 4 games in the postseason. So Jamar Chase holds the record, and Rashee Rice, I think, is 15 yards after the catch away from breaking that record. It's what he does. So they're going to get him the ball, I think, a number of times. And if he can break, that one, he's a 30, 35 yarder away from, breaking that one, just as, putting him over the number there. So, yeah.
Isaiah Pacheco, over under 16.5 rushing attempts. That's usually right around there. You think he's going to be over?
I think he's going to be over that. I think they're going to spend the first half trying to get him involved. And I think in the second half, if they've got the lead, I think it's going to be something that they want to lean on and rely on. So I think they're going to get over on that one. I think he may get to 20 in this game.
All right. I like the over. I was saying probably about 18, which is where the projection puts him. But Travis Kelce, over under 70.5. Now, keep in mind, where I get my stats, they put the over under last game at like 62. Mm-hmm. He went a little bit over that.
Did a little bit, yeah. I'm going over with this one with Travis Kelce because if we watch Travis Kelce in the middle of the season and he had that stretch of 4 or 5 games where he had 100 yards, he had 100 yards at halftime a couple of games, he had the touchdowns, and towards the end of the year, he just got worn down. He's in his mid-30s now, so he's played 11, 12 years in the NFL, and so you see the age catching up to Travis Kelce, and I think that's what was going on at the end of the season. And then he had the week off in week 18 because the Chiefs were locked into the 3 seed, so he didn't play. And he looked different the games in the playoffs. He looked faster against Miami. He talked about it going into the Buffalo game. He's like, I feel even, more refreshed for whatever reason than, going into the Miami game and then Baltimore. So now he's got another week off. So I think you're going to see vintage Travis Kelce. He looks faster and he's making catches that early in the year when it looked like he was tired that he wasn't making, especially that Kyle Hamilton back shoulder, the 4th down play against the Ravens. The first drive of the game. So, and the diving catch, obviously, those are things we didn't see Travis doing at the end of the season. He was dropping those passes. And I think there's probably some mental exhaustion that goes along with it too, with him getting used to being Taylor Swift's boyfriend. There's some Kansas City famous, and then there's some world famous getting used to. She's used to it. He's not. He's used to Kansas City famous, where you could go to the grocery store and it's like, oh my gosh, it's Travis Kelce. Now you can't. Now you got people waiting for you to leave your house.
I think that if the Chiefs win this game, the MVP is going to be Rashee Rice, and the reason behind that is they are going to be concentrating so much on Travis Kelce. I'm going to go for the under in that.
One quick one, if you want to, you may ask this later, so I apologize, but Travis Kelce's numbers for MVP are plus 1,400. Remember, 20% of the vote is the fan voting. Mm-hmm. So you got the Swifties that are going to be voting for Travis Kelce. So I threw some money on Travis Kelce plus 1,400 because the fans give out 4 votes and it's by percentage. So if the percentage is too high to where somebody can get a half a vote, They just won't even get it. They'll give all 4 votes to Travis Kelce. And if he gets those all 4 votes, he would need 7 of the other 16 to then win MVP.
Plus 1,400 is very tempting.
It is. Yeah.
Very tempting.
I didn't put a lot, but it was sort of the Swifty bet.
$20.
Yeah.
He's going to win the fan vote. I just don't know if he's going to get all 4 points out of the fan vote.
Yeah.
2 more before we jump into the novelty bets. Christian McCaffrey over under 4.5 receptions.
Oh man, that's a good one.
That's a really good one.
I'm gonna. Wow, trying to think of just like. But I'll go over. I think there's going to be some screens thrown in there. I think they're going to try to get the Chiefs on some blitzes because that's what Spags likes to do. I mean, if Spags could blitz himself, he'd run out there on the field and run after the quarterback if he could, but he's not allowed. So I'm going to go over with that. I think they're going to try to run some screens and try to keep the Chiefs off balance with the blitz game.
The projection's at 5.9. That would put him over. Your guy, Patrick Mahomes, Mr. Dadbot himself, over under 260.5 passing yards.
I am going to go over on that. I think the secondary for the 49ers is pretty weak. So I'm going to go over on that. I think there's some other wide receivers that may get in. I think Pacheco is going to get some receptions as well. And it's why I like the over with Kelce. And we'll see about Rashee Rice. But I'm going to go over with Patrick Mahomes in the passing yards, even though these 3 games he hasn't been, a huge yards accumulator, especially in the second half against Baltimore. But Baltimore's got a much better defense than San Francisco.
I agree. And the projections put him over at 273.3. All right. The question of the week. Okay. I actually tried to figure out this bet earlier on in the week. I went on to my Twitter, my X account. I said heads or tails, and I let it run for 3 days, and it literally came back 50-50. No help at all. What are you picking? Heads or tails for the coin toss?
Tails never fails, right? I mean, that's what it does.
My life motto.
I don't know. I'll go tails. I'm
going tails too.
Is there some statistical study that shows that one is more likely in the Super Bowl?
Actually, the one thing that I've read suggests that it's a 1 in 3 chance you'll get tails, that it's a 2 in 3 chance you'll get heads. But I personally have always had better luck with tails.
My guy in Vegas that runs a tout site says that he's going under on the national anthem.
I didn't see that bet in DraftKings. I'm a big DK guy.
Yeah.
I didn't see that bet in the novelty bets. So
he said he's going under because Reba, as she's getting older, is not extending her notes as much. And this is his daughter has picked the right over under like 10 years in a row.
What?
So his daughter studies it for his site.
Interesting.
And he said under national anthem with Reba because she's doing the studying and she's saying that Reba over the years, her notes are not held as longer. She's not doing as much intricate stuff. She's more straightforward with her national anthems. And this one with the bigger stage, she's not going to want to, make a mistake or hit a wrong note. So she's just going to be straightforward and do the national anthem. So 10 years in a row, his daughter is going for 11 straight. She's saying under.
Jesus. If that's not inside information, I don't know what is. That is
I mean,
awesome.
It's not Reba's daughter. It's just, whatever.
Yeah.
She studied, try to get an angle one way or another, I guess,
All right. Yes or no, Usher will do a moonwalk during his halftime show.
Oh, wow. Can the moonwalk does it have to be the specific moonwalk backwards? Because Usher does sort of that sideways one where he's got his feet going.
No. It's got to be the MJ. It's got to be the MJ.
I'm going to say no then. I'm going to say no. Yeah.
I might agree with you on that one. I don't know that I've ever seen Usher do a moonwalk, so I don't know why he suddenly.
Yeah, he always does the one that slides to his left or right,
I've seen it, and now that we're together, I don't know if I could tell you where I've seen it.
I don't know how to respond to that.
It was during a Victoria's Secret show where he was singing on the catwalk, and he actually literally in the middle of his song escorted one of the models down the catwalk doing the moonwalk backwards. So I've definitely seen it. because that's all I was paying attention to was Usher during that entire show.
Of course.
Let me just throw that out there. All right, Taylor Swift, moving on. Taylor Swift, over under 5.5 times being shown after the kickoff.
Way over.
You got the over. You got
way
the way
over.
over.
No, I agree. They're going to be nuts about it.
Yes, if there was a time to show Taylor Swift, it's a time when people actually care about the celebrities, the commercials. Like, so many people are watching this game that don't watch other games. Like, if you're talking about like a Week 15 game, people getting annoyed by it, and maybe we shouldn't show her that often. It's the Super Bowl. They show random celebrities all the time. They'll show Taylor Swift more than
anytime she has a reaction. Somebody goes, "Oh, how cute!" They're gonna put her on screen.
Will we see a shirtless Jason Kelce during this game?
I mean, if there's a God, yes, we will.
Dude, I saw the other night. I actually showed it to Marnie. Funko Pop has actually made a shirtless Jason Kelce, complete with beer, that you can buy now. That's and amazing. All the proceeds to that, by the way, go to charity, which is awesome. But yeah, they did it.
It's so funny. I love it.
Will we have, now this is a Kansas City thing, will we have Swag Surfing played during the game?
Okay, so that's interesting because Willie Gay, the linebacker for the Chiefs, when they were playing the Bengals, is the one that was on camera that looked back and said, "Hey, tell the DJ to get some Swag Surfing. We need so." Oh, that's amazing.
Sorry to interrupt. I had to show you.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. Willie Gay told the cameraman, "Hey, can you get the message up there? We need some energy. Let's get Swag Surfing." And they played Swag Surfing, and the defense went out there and got a turnover. And then they talked about it that week. We started playing it on our show, and then now it's been the anthem, as you talked about. So we had Willie Gay on our show yesterday, and I asked him, I said, "Are you going to request Swag Surfing at the Super Bowl?" And he said, "When we get up 14 or 21 points in the fourth quarter, I'm going to make sure that they play Swag Surfing for us."
When?
He didn't say if.
I like the confidence there.
When?
He said, when we get up 14 or 21 points, I'm going to have them play it for us when we're out there on defense. So he has said, first of all, that's a big qualifier to get up by 2 touchdowns. But he has said that if that happens, they will they'll try to send word up there to get Swag Surfing played on the over the PA.
You know what? I listened to that episode. First off, big kudos to Chad Bogart for running around with the phone to get you interviews.
It was awesome. Spagnolo, Drew Tranquil, Willie Gay, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling just handing him the phone. Like, part of me wanted to be like, I just want to play the game of who is this? Like, all right, they hand him the phone. What college did you go to? Where'd you grow up?
What year did you get drafted?
What draft class were you in? Or free agent, trade? Are you draft pick?
All right, so
great.
Let's put you in Willie Gay's shoes here. You're a player on the sideline. And you have the opportunity to call up and say, "I want this song played right now." What song are you going to play? It could be rap, it could be rock. What are you thinking to get the crowd going?
Oh my gosh, that's a good question. I don't. You know what? I'll go with this one because it's a running joke on our show. Sandstorm. I'll go with that one. We'll go with the Sandstorm. So there you go. We'll go with that. Yes. It just be down there, and all of a sudden you hear, and everybody just starts looking around. Yeah. That's
and then they just start going crazy because they're into it. Yeah. I've got 2 songs from basically like the late 90s.
Okay.
Actually, one of them's Thunderstruck by AC/DC, which I absolutely love. But one of my favorite rap songs of all time to get people crunk is High Low by JT Money.
Okay. All right.
If you don't know the song, go listen to it. Tell the Chiefs to play that song. If I hear it during the Super Bowl, I will go freaking crazy.
What's crazy is until I came up with Sandstorm, I was thinking, I'll probably go with Thunderstruck. But
that's a good one.
Thunderstruck would have been my second choice. Yeah. So if I had 2, it would have been Sandstorm and Thunderstruck.
Before I let you go, because I know you got to go coach baseball, quick thoughts on Gerard Mayo being named the new head coach in the New England Patriots. What are your thoughts?
Better than Bill Belichick. Should be. No, not that he will be better than Bill Belichick.
Oh, okay.
I think it's better than moving forward with Bill Belichick as the coach. That's run its course. I worry about trying to recreate the Patriot way of just doing that. Hopefully he finds his own way and doesn't just go, well, Bill did it this way, or this is how it should be done that way. Find his own way, do it the way that he wants, and it's a better chance of being successful than just trying to mimic what somebody else did, but putting your own spin on it. So
I do agree with that line of thinking.
I like it. It's a new start. You got a whole new coaching staff. There's a couple position coaches that have come back, but the big ones, the OC, the DC, like they're new.
Yep. Yeah.
It's a whole new start. I don't know if we're going quarterback. I don't know if we're trading back. I don't know what we're looking like with the new GM, but I kind of like it. All I know is this guy right here will not be up there after the Super Bowl. Mac Jones jersey is done. It's like the cutoff for when you absolutely need to take the Christmas tree down.
Okay. Yeah.
So this Sunday is when the Christmas tree comes down for Mac Jones. That's gone. We'll get some Red Sox stuff up there. We'll get. I
didn't know if maybe a Bailey Zappi went up there in its place or not.
No. Like I don't know. I'm thinking I'm done with current players. I'm going to throw like an Andre Tippett or a Brewski or a Gerard Mayo jersey up there for next season.
That would work.
So I think I'm safer going with some Gronk. Maybe do like the Brady thing. I never bought the entire time. I never bought a single Brady jersey because everybody had it.
Get a Deion Branch one up there. I lived in Louisville.
Oh, Deion Branch, Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, there you go.
Love it. Absolutely love it, Jason. Man, we got to get some swag coming your way. I'll send you a text after the show. We got to get you hooked up, get some S3 stuff on you. As long as dude, you got to take a selfie with it. I don't care if you wear it. Take a selfie with it for me so I can say we made the big time. Jason Anderson showing off our gear.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of The Zone from Sports Radio 810, Mr. Jason Anderson. It's his third time. He never learned.
It's a pleasure.
His third time on the show.
Charm, yes. There you go.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on, man. We definitely appreciate you. Hey, go be dad of the year and be instead of being in Vegas for the Super Bowl.
I know.
He chose to coach his kids baseball.
Darn right. That's right.
That's
absolutely awesome. Jason, take care, buddy, man.
See you guys.
We appreciate
it. Absolutely. Anytime.
All right. So that dude, third time's like we warned him. Like after the first one, he came back, and then he wanted to come back again.
He's awesome.
All right. I reached out to him and said, "Absolutely, I love having him on, man." Even though we're Patriots fans, right? And we got this Chiefs guy that I met while doing Uber.
As big of a Patriot fans as we are, you still have to respect the Chiefs. The Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey era Chiefs have been pretty spectacular to watch.
Now, with that being said, obviously he thinks Chiefs. He's picking the Chiefs. What's your pick for the final score before we close out this? What are you looking at for a score?
I can't decide. I do think it's probably going to be close, like maybe with even a field goal. And I think, I don't know, 23-20.
The over-under in this game is 50.5.
Yeah.
That's where it's
everybody's
projected.
Expecting it to be high scoring.
I'm thinking I'm going to take, I couldn't say this with him on the show. And I'm taking the Niners.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Niners just because they haven't been there since they haven't won since it's been a while. Right. I'm taking the Niners. I'm taking 27-24.
My only personal vote for the Niners is because I think Christian McCaffrey deserves a fucking ring. I do like the Chiefs better, if we're being honest, between the two teams, which is my gut tells me. Let's
get Mr. Irrelevant from Brock Purdy's from here. He went to school here in the Valley at Chandler. I believe it was Chandler High School. But let's get him a ring just because we're in Arizona. That's not the reason why I picked him. I actually believe that the Niners are going to win this game, but it's going to be close, like you said. I got 27-24 is my final on that. Moving on. What's next?
Second quarter NBA trade deadline moves by Suns and Celtics.
All right, so basically the two teams that we really pay attention to, one, because we live here, and two, because I'm from there. So I am a big-time Celtics fan. I love my Boston Celtics.
Yes.
I do feel bad that the Suns have never won anything, but if it comes down to the Suns Celtics in the finals, you can only have one favorite, right? That's the rule. That's the definition of favorite. It means number one in your life. I have to pick the Celtics. I will
Charles
say
Barkley's Suns broke my heart in the 90s.
Yeah, Charles Barkley, Dan Marley,
Jordan, and they almost had it.
Well, you went against God basically at the time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I'm still convinced that man can actually fly.
The losers at the trade line, before we get into the Suns and the Celtics, happily for me, the Los Angeles Lakers. No trade deadline moves. They are expected, however, to go after Spencer Dinwiddie once he clears waivers. So what happens basically a lot of times during these trades is they'll throw in a couple players that the team will accept just to get one of those players and then waive the guy that they really didn't want. But they'll accept it. They'll accept the player to do as a favor to kind of grease the wheels to get the player that they wanted. And then they'll release or buy out the contract of like, for example, Spencer Dinwiddie. I can see the Lakers going after him to give them a backup to Russell. That's the rumor mill on that. As far as the Suns go, they got Royce O'Neal from the Nets and David Roddy from the Grizzlies for 3 second-round picks. The Nets actually get in return as well Bates Diop and Jordan Goodwin, while also sending Utah Watanabe and Chimizi Mets. I completely forgot his name. Anyway, he's going to Memphis, so it doesn't matter. He's off our radar. All right, I believe it's Metu. I think my notes just auto-corrected. It's not the Mets. I'm not talking about the Mets, the lovable losers, the New York Mets. Very rarely will I be talking about the Mets on the show unless the Diamondbacks are playing them or the Red Sox are playing them.
Right.
The Celtics traded guard Delano Blanton to the Trailblazers, my favorite underdog team to actually bet for what is called a heavily protected second-round pick. I might need to dig into that. I know what a protected pick is. Like if they finish inside a certain range, like if they finish bottom seed, then they're guaranteed to get that bet or
maybe
that
it's
pick.
Just coveted is what they meant.
Well, if it's
by the use of terminology there.
Yeah, I believe it is. If they finish bad enough, then they lock in that pick. That pick goes to the Celtics. They get guard Jaden Springer from the 76ers from the 76ers for a second-round pick. And they also get this move I love because he fits in immediately to the identity, the defensive identity of the Celtics and makes them better. They got Xavier Tillman from the Grizzlies for 2 second-round picks. They also send Lamar Stevens to the Grizzlies as well. I love that Tillman pick. I love what Brad Stevens did there. The GM for the Celtics went out and got another solid stud. And Tillman doesn't even have to start. He can come off the bench and solidify the defense for that second team coming off the bench. So I like that. What's next?
Third quarter review of NASCAR Full Speed on Netflix.
All right, Jason Anderson, if you're listening, don't listen.
Don't listen. Plug your ears.
Because you have to go watch. All right. So the number one lesson that I got personally is his name is pronounced Ryan fucking Blaney.
Right, that was the cutest shit ever.
That is the number
Kudos
one
to his
lesson.
Girlfriend. I forget already. Girlfriend.
She said that. I don't know if she says that to him every race, but that came up a couple times.
Yeah, 2-3 of the races they showed.
After the anthem, just before he gets in, and she goes to him and says, remember, you are Ryan fucking Blaney. Loved it. I don't even like Ryan Blaney. No. I love that. If that's their routine, keep doing it, because apparently it works. I don't like him. I had a bad incident trying to get an autograph, standing in the same spot for 6 freaking hours.
Yeah.
To get a wave. We got a wave. I waited 6 hours. Meanwhile, his teammates are to my left signing autographs for everybody.
Yeah.
Never got the autograph. I don't even like him. I wasn't trying to get the autograph for me. It was for a friend whose birthday is on November 12th, and that's why he's a Blaney fan, because Blaney is number 12. Stupid reason. Anyway, shout out to Christian. Shout out. Yeah, it did. It did.
Up out of it.
It got him a championship. So I don't like him, but I respect him. Respect him.
Yeah.
And you'll see, like, okay, so this full speed, it covers Blaney, Bell. Obviously, it covers the championship 4. Bell was actually like not on the original list of drivers.
They were not tracking him at all until they got up into towards the end of it there, and then they were like, "Oh shit,
yeah,
let's interview this kid."
And the producer let it spill. They actually included in it, like, when we first thought about doing this, we came up with a list of drivers that we were absolutely going to follow into the playoffs. Your name was not on it.
Yeah.
They told him that.
Yeah.
I personally would take that as a compliment. I'd be like, I shocked the world.
He kind of seemed like he did. He basically said, yeah, people sleep on it all the time, but I'm actually pretty good at this.
He is. He's damn good.
Correctly.
He's a damn good driver.
Yeah.
I don't have him winning it this year, but I've got him in the mix. I do.
I'm not sure they were really on Ryan Blaney until they got towards the finals in the season either. Like, they started with Denny Hamlin and Bubba Wallace. They weren't even really touching on Tyler Reddick, who was technically doing better.
Yeah, not really.
Bubba
no,
at that time.
Well, because they're teammates at 2311 Racing.
William Byron,
right?
Yeah,
William Byron. They did as well. Who else did they do? Like, they didn't do Kyle Busch, which kind of pissed me off a little bit.
Didn't even touch at him.
They didn't touch him. They didn't touch him. They didn't think, nah, he's not going to do anything. Yeah, this year he is. Haters. All right. Didn't do him. I did love how they really went in depth on Denny Hamlin.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to the point to where they showed his mother calling his ass out on one of his qualification runs. Remember that?
That was awesome. Yeah. She was just like, no, why did you do it wrong?
Yeah. Denny Hamlin, right? Mr. Denny, he's got 50 career wins. He walks into his trailer, which I'm pretty sure he bought with his money. His mom's sitting there in front of the TV watching it, and calls him out about being half throttle around a turn.
Yep.
And he's like, no, I wasn't. And she there's a thing.
Literally pulled it up on the DVR to show him.
Pull it up, and it shows the screen that shows his throttle. And he goes, their equipment must be bad. And she goes, it's the only one. Everybody else was shown at full throttle. You were at half throttle on this turn. And she called him out.
Yeah, that was pretty epic.
Loved it.
I also liked seeing behind the scenes of his Michael Jordan pairing, like, their company as owners.
Oh yeah, they got this
cool
huge. Like, I want to check out, like, to see where their new factory is at. Like, it is a huge team factory.
It was to the point they had some windows at an angle, and the windows angle was 23 degrees. Like, the level of theme they've gone to was absolutely stunning in my mind.
Yep. One of the one part of the building was in black and red. The other part of the building was in North Carolina blue.
Right.
So they're doing what they need to do and he's out there with a construction helmet on. Jordan wasn't, but Denny Hamlin had to be there because he's part owner.
Well, the company,
so he's out there checking it.
It's 2311, right? And 23 is obviously Jordan's number, and then 11 is Denny's racing
Yep. Absolutely. And then Bubba Wallace, his car number is 23.
In the 23 car.
Reddick is
Tyler
45, which is the number Jordan wore for a little while. He went back to 23 eventually because the fans wanted it, but he was 45. That's why those two numbers are on that team. I love that. But at the same time, like, there's a lot of people that don't like, Ross Chastain was a big part in this.
I didn't know about the watermelon thing. That was fun to.
Yeah, he's a watermelon farmer. He's a third generation watermelon farmer. That's why he crushes a watermelon every time he wins.
That's really cool.
I love it. But like, he's an asshole. He is.
Yeah.
He's an asshole. Bit. I'm an asshole. He's more of an asshole. Like,
help me out. The kid whose dad was interviewed and they had all his little go-karts from when he was a kid.
Byron.
No, not Byron. The other asshole.
They had Blaney.
Joey Logano. I was surprised.
Did they do Logano? Yeah, they did have some Logano in there as well.
They did.
They did. They had some Logano in there as well.
But Ross Chastain is good to his fans. He's just an asshole to everybody that he races with.
Oh yeah, everybody wants to punch him. As a matter of fact, like they showed some scraps.
There were several images of that happening. Yes.
Yeah, but you know what though? It's good for NASCAR.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you saw it. You probably didn't. The Rock came out the other night. Like, everybody loves The Rock, right?
Mm-hmm.
People were cheering for Cody Rhodes. The Rock came out, had words with Cody Rhodes, and The Rock slapped him right across the face.
Yeah.
For talking about his bloodline. Whatever. Moving on. We're not here to talk about that. But
it gives me the same vibes like when there's a fight in hockey.
Yeah, well, no, because people love seeing fights.
They really do. I want to see Denny Hamlin's tagline. I beat your favorite.
I beat your favorite driver.
Love that too, though. I love it.
He just said it again at the Clash when he won. You know, I beat your favorite driver, right? And then he got a ton of booze. They were cheering when he got out of the car. He said that, and then he got a ton of booze. I love it. It's theater. It's NASCAR theater. Like, I love it. The Daytona 500, by the way, next week, right?
Yeah.
So we got to decide if we're going to put together a fantasy team or a fantasy league for our followers.
Yeah,
or
leave a comment
whatnot.
If you are interested. So
if you're interested, fantasy baseball, which I have only done a handful of times, so I'm not that good at it. I'm more of a football guy. We're doing fantasy baseball and we're doing NASCAR. So if you want to be a part of that, we'll do a live snake draft through probably like ESPN or NASCAR or wherever it is. I'll do some research, but I definitely want to do a league because it keeps you in the races. All right. It's either that or I got to spend money betting to be occupied in that. Why don't we do a free one? You know, so because I'm cheap. That's what it is. Yeah. All right. So go watch if you haven't seen it. All 5 episodes.
It was so entertaining. It was a really good. I think it would be a good introduction. If you've never done anything NASCAR, that's a good way to help get you into it, get familiar with the drivers, see what the races are like.
It'll get you into it, and it'll get you right into this season. Go watch the 5 episodes. We watched them all in one night.
Mm-hmm.
So they're about 45 minutes long each one. So clear about 3.5 hours after dinner. Say, hey, we're watching this for the rest of the night so we can get caught up with the rivals and who wants to punch the other person's face in. You know? So when you watch the Daytona 500 and the camera catches Ryan Blaney flipping off Tyler Reddick because he doesn't like him or whatever the case may be, you know that's his attitude.
Yeah.
He wears his feelings on his sleeve. I don't like him, but I love that for the sport. So let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. What's next?
Fourth quarter. Arizona Diamondbacks top 10 greatest players in franchise history.
All right. So what you do if you want to see the full top 20, you got to go to CoachJeffDemers.com. You click on articles across the top and then click on the blazing orange and yellow ultimate countdown, Arizona Diamondbacks top 20 greatest players in franchise history. I'm going to run down that for you right now as we wait. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to do the top 10.
Yes.
The top 10. There are some really good players. I went by stats. Not the most popular, but I mean, they're pretty popular here in Arizona. Starting with number 10, Patrick Corbin. Pitcher Corbin spent from 2012 to 2018 with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He is ranked 10th in earned run average at 3.91, 4th in wins with 56 wins as a Diamondback, 8th in strikeouts per 9-inning pitch with 8.537. I guess I could have just said about 8.5, but no, 8.537 because stats matter. 3rd in innings pitched, 945.2 innings pitched as a Diamondback. 4th in strikeouts, 897 strikeouts as a Diamondbacks pitcher. And 8th in complete games with 4. All right, moving on to number 9. We got Tony Womack, who, a.k.a. the little engine that did. Womack played for the Arizona Diamondbacks from 1991 to 2002 and part of 2003. So he was part of that 2001 championship team.
Okay.
Played an integral part in that team. He is ranked 9th in runs scored with 392, 3rd in triples with 37, 1st in stolen bases in team history with 182, which one of the main reasons that he is in the top 10, and he is 4th all time in singles as a Diamondback with 521. The man knows how to put the bat on the ball and get on base, and then he knows what to do when he does get on base, ladies and gentlemen. More than likely, a third of the time, he steals a base. It's crazy. Next up, number 8, Steve Finley. There's an old school name. Steve Finley played for the Diamondbacks from 1999 to 2003. And most of 2004, he's ranked tied for 10th in batting average at 278. He is 7th in games played in team history at 849 games.
Wow.
3rd in runs scored with 491. 4th in hits at 847. Like, this guy he's on like almost every stat. He is 4th in total bases at 1,524. 10th in doubles with 150 doubles. 5th in triples with 34. 3rd all-time in home runs. Steve Finley is 3rd. If I ask you right now to give me your favorite home run hitters all time, I guarantee you would not put Steve Finley in the top 3, but he is. With home runs, 153. He is also 4th in walks at 337. So he knows how to work the plate. 7th in stolen bases. He's got a little juice to him, or had. I don't know how he feels now. At 70. 7th in singles at 510 singles. And 5th in extra base hits at 337. Steve Finley, one hell of a hitter. And that's why he has cracked the top 10. But he's not the best hitter. Next up is another hitter, Chris Young. Young spent, this is number 7, by the way. Young spent from 2006 to 2012 with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He ranked 6th in games played at 885, 4th in runs scored, 453, 8th in hits at 758, 5th in total bases at 1,386, 3rd in doubles at 198 doubles, 4th in home runs with 132 as a Diamondback, 3rd in base on balls, that's walks, 360, 3rd in stolen bases with 112, and tied for 3rd in extra base hits with 347. Next up, it's a shame this man went to the Dodgers. David Peralta. Peralta played for the Arizona Diamondbacks from 2014 to 2021 and most of 2022. He ranks 5th in batting average at 283, 3rd all-time in games played at 961, 6th all-time in runs scored, 434, 3rd in hits at 960, third in total bases at 1,573, fourth in doubles at 191, second in triples at I need a drink /46th, seventh in home runs at 110, ninth in walks at 280, third in singles at 613, and tied for third in extra base hits. One of the best hitters all time in Arizona Diamondbacks history. Wow.
Wow.
With that, I take a drink. Next up, number 5 on the list. It's not just hitters, it's pitchers. You got Curt Schilling.
Yep.
The one guy that is just being smashed by the Hall of Fame committee. The only reason this guy is not in the Hall of Fame is because he's an asshole.
Yeah, he is.
He speaks his mind. It has nothing to do with what the man accomplished on the field. Nothing. Yeah. He's an asshole. They don't like him. They kept him out of the Hall of Fame. Just for the Diamondbacks, he played from partway through the 2000 season through 2003. Short time, right? Yeah. Yet he ranks high in many categories, starting with being ranked second all-time in ERA with 3.14. It's earned run average. He is third in wins with 58. He is fifth in hits allowed per 9 innings pitched at 7.979. He is first in walks per 9 innings pitched at just 1.347. He is third in strikeouts per 9 innings pitched at 10.075. He is seventh in innings pitched with 781.2. He is fifth in strikeouts all time in Diamondbacks history at 875. He is second in team history with 18 complete games, and he is third in team history with 5 shutouts.
Right.
Just with that,
no,
he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Good at what he did, but yeah, he was a dick.
He's a dick.
I've never heard any good heartwarming story from someone that ran into him in public or
Ty Cobb, Cy Young, both infamous assholes. Both of them are in. Yeah, both of them are in the Hall of Fame. Curt Schilling's not in the Hall of Fame because they didn't like him, not because of his numbers. They didn't like him. Unbelievable. Number 4, all time, Paul Goldschmidt. Have you heard of him? Around here, they call him Goldie. He played for the Arizona. What do you mean? That better have been sarcastic. He played from 2011 to 2018. He ranks second in batting average at 297. He ranks second in games played with 1,092. He ranks second, there's a theme here, in runs scored at 709. He ranks second in hits, 1,182. He ranks, you want to take a guess?
Second.
In total bases at 2,114. He is second all time with the Arizona Diamondbacks in doubles at 267. He is second in home runs for the Arizona Diamondbacks at 209. He is first in walks based on balls at 655. He is second, because we didn't want to completely go off the pattern. He is second in stolen bases at 124. This is amazing. All right. I'll get back to the stolen bases in a second. He is second in singles at 687. And he is, say it with me, second in extra base hits all time for the Arizona Diamondbacks at 494. The one that stood out with me is he is second in stolen bases in franchise history with 124. Why? He is built like a freaking linebacker. He played
I see why it would be extra impressive then. Apparently he can move.
He can move.
Yeah.
He absolutely can move.
Not like a linebacker.
He is by far the second greatest hitter all time, even though we're only at number 4. Number 3, Brandon Webb. Webby. Webby played for the Arizona Diamondbacks from 2003 to 2008. He pitched one game in the 2009 season. He spent his entire career here in Arizona. He ranks 4th in earned run average at 3.27, 2nd all-time in wins at 87, 6th in hits per 9 innings pitched at 8.184. 2nd in innings pitched with 1,319.2 innings pitched. He is 2nd in strikeouts with 1,065 strikeouts. He is 3rd all-time in Arizona Diamondbacks history in complete games with 15. And he is 2nd in shutouts with 8. Brandon Webb was one hell of a pitcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Next up, I'm pretty sure you heard of this guy. He goes by the nickname of Gonzo. Luis Gonzalez. Played for the Arizona Diamondbacks from 1999 to 2006. He ranks 1st in batting average at 298, 1st in games played at 1,194, 1st in runs scored at 780, 1st in hits at 1,337. Say it with me. He ranks first in total bases, 2,373. He ranks first in doubles at 310. He ranks first in home runs at 224. He ranks first all-time Arizona Diamondbacks in extra base hits at 561. He ranks, say it with me,
first.
No, he doesn't. He ranks 2nd in walks because Paul Goldschmidt's got that honor at 650, and he actually ranks 9th all-time in triples. There's the blemish on him. He is the greatest hitter in franchise history.
Yeah, he was a pretty spectacular to watch back in the day.
No debate. He's also a really cool guy to talk to. Doesn't remember me, guaranteed, because I only talked to him for like 3 seconds in the dining area that all the media members go to. Which, by the way, I'll say this: I have covered hundreds of games, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games and events, different sports around the Arizona Diamondbacks. When it comes to putting out a spread for the media, cannot be topped. And it's for like $10, which reminds me, we need at least $100 in our budget for all the games that I'm going to cover through May, just in case, because their meals are awesome. I'm sorry, sweetheart, your food is good. Their meals are awesome. It's like fine dining. Not only that, but they spoil you. Check this out before we get to the number one all time. I must divulge this story. All right. So you walk into the line, you pay your $10, right? $10. Thinking outside the box, how many times have we only spent $10 for one of us to eat at a drive-thru? How many times?
Never. It's still more.
Okay. This $10, you grab your tray, you get in line. First, you hit the salad bar. The salad bar is a big spread. It's a big deal. It's got eggs, chicken, fish, whatever you want to throw on it. It's got something healthy in chunks.
Like actual vegetables, maybe.
Like they have all the vegetables that you put on it. Different kinds of lettuce. They've got bacon. They've got all the different dressings. They've got carrots. They've got cucumbers. They've got everything. It's a nice spread.
Yeah.
You would think that's your $10, right? That has to be the $10. That's what you're paying for. Yeah. Okay. If that's all you wanted. Oh, by the way, there's nobody putting out rations. Like you can only have this much. There's nobody sitting there. So you take one of the big things. You take one of the big flip open containers that you're going to take to your seat or wherever you're going to eat.
Yeah.
It's like this size. Fill that up with the size of your legal pad. Basically, fill that up to the top. It's about 3 inches deep. That's salad. Then on top of that, I will have another one of those for the next step in the process. This is why I can't lose weight during baseball season. Also, why it's probably only a good thing that I'm only covering part-time this year. Because full-time, picture this, full-time me eating this. Next up, we've got first on the menu, loaded mashed potatoes, which usually has like some type of a bacon and cheddar cheese in them. And so, and again, nobody is regulating this stuff. Spoon / shovel, boom, plate, got it. All right, next you have like barbecue. Well, you probably have like barbecue chicken or something like that. My favorite is their thick. I can get the recipe for you if you want, but I'm pretty sure you can't have any of it. Barbecue beef brisket. The slices are about a ½ inch thick. Let's take 2 to 4 of those and throw those on the plate. $10 I paid back there.
I've made brisket.
Oh yeah, your brisket's awesome. Lovely.
I would say you could get the recipe. It would probably be fine.
Next up, after that, there's a vegetable. You know me. Yeah, okay, green beans, I'll take them, sure. Yeah, why not? All right, there's always a most of the time they have like a roasted corn on the cob. Oh, come on. All right, that's that. That's the main meal, right? Moving on to the next step. Oh, look, brownies, cakes. It's a tray in front of you, huge tray of baked goodies. Let's say I surpass that though, because I'm watching my weight from what I have on my plate. Moving down, there's a mini freezer. That Cold Stone ice cream has stocked with cup after cup after cup after cup after cup after cup after cup of ice cream. Stocked. Okay, I will try birthday cake ice cream today. Put that on a plate. You have your drinks. You've got your juices. You've got your fountain drinks.
Yeah.
Let's load that on there. Okay, so I eat all that. Maybe I'm eating it at my press box spot. Maybe I'm watching another game on TV in the actual dining area. Now, in the third inning-ish, they then bring out a hot dog bar. Free. A free hot dog bar.
Yeah.
And if not, they have a free nacho bar. This is all for the press, people.
Yeah.
Again, understanding why I'm 30 pounds overweight. I still haven't been able to lose the weight. I covered them 4 years ago. And this is every game.
Yeah.
Some nights it's tacos. Some nights it's this. They have themes. And then on Sundays, like if you cover a Sunday game, they have an omelet bar and a chef cooking you whatever omelet you want. $10.
Yeah.
Really? So right now, it's a good thing that I'm only part-time. That's all I'm saying. Moving on. The number one player in franchise history. Can you take a guess?
I read your article. I would have guessed correctly, but I.
So you're the one.
I know what
you're
it
the
is.
one. All right, moving on. I do love this though. I actually have members of the communications department at the Diamondbacks that have read my articles.
Yes,
I love it.
I do need to mention that I completely agree. From a fan standpoint, take all the stats and crap and throw it out for a second. I think the fans would also say that this is the number one Diamondbacks player of all time.
Oh, yeah. And he's still with the organization. He doesn't play. It's been a long time since he played. Randy freaking Johnson.
Randy freaking Johnson.
AKA the big unit. He played for the Arizona Diamondbacks from 1999 to 2004. And again, from 2007 to 2008. He ranks first in ERA, earned run average, with a 2.83 ERA. He ranks first in wins with 118. He ranks second in hits per 9 innings pitched at 7.314. He ranks 6th all-time in walks per 9 innings pitched with 2.296. He ranks 1st in strikeouts per 9 innings pitched with 11.466 per 9 innings. He is 9th all-time in games played with 233, which, by the way, he is the only starting pitcher to rank inside the top 10 of this stat. Everybody else is closers or relievers.
Yeah.
He is 1st in total innings pitched with 1,630.1 innings pitched. Mm-hmm. He is 1st in complete games with 38. He ranks 1st in shutouts with 14, and he is 3rd in home runs allowed per 9 innings pitched at 0.90. He is the greatest pitcher, the greatest player all time in Arizona Diamondbacks history. I'm actually pretty proud of this list. It is a top 20. We only did the top 10. So if you want to see if your favorite player made the top 20, there may be a surprise or two on there. Go to CoachJeffDemers.com, click on articles, click on the shiny little logo that I made for it, and check it out. Let me know what your thoughts are. I also want to give a shout out to Baseball Reference for creating a site that is packed with so many freaking stats. It took me 5 hours last Sunday to sift through all of these stats just so I can make an article that takes you probably 10 minutes to read. 5 hours to put it together.
I have a Randy Johnson anecdote.
Do you?
Yes.
Shoot.
Supposedly he was asked how he felt about gun control. So take the politics out. We're not even discussing that. What he said was, why would I need a gun? I keep a baseball next to my bed.
Yep. I remember when he said that.
Yeah.
Yep. But I'm pretty sure. Did you know that he is an avid photographer?
No, I did not. That's interesting.
And because I was at his retirement ceremony when they retired his number, I know that Rush and Neil Peart, Rush is his favorite band, Neil Peart is his favorite drummer. They gave him a replica Neil Peart drum set on the field for his retirement.
That's very cool.
That is awesome. So he's a drummer too. He's a drummer. He's a photographer. What can he do? What can he do?
Right.
He's awesome. He is
My
awesome.
very best baseball moment was a game that he was pitching. So Ken Griffey Jr. was one of my favorite players. This was back when he was on the Mariners. So it was Mariners Diamondbacks. Junior's stats were manipulated a bit because pitchers were too scared to pitch to him. So they would just throw balls and walk him on a base so that they didn't have to deal with the way that he could hit the ball. Randy Johnson refused. Like he was told to, he refused. He would actually pitch a ball to this man.
Wow.
So I got to see Randy Johnson legitimately strike out Ken Griffey Jr. I did also get to see Ken Griffey Jr. hit a grand slam, so I'm not sure it was 100% effective. But he did, like the whole keeping track of the strikeouts, the Circle K symbols hanging down over the thing. That started with Randy Johnson. That was like his superpower.
That is cool. And that is our show. Special shout out again to Jason Anderson, host of The Zone from Sports Radio 810 out of Kansas City. Yes. Like he keeps coming on the show.
Yeah, I love
keep trying to tell him. Like we warned him. We got to get him some swag going out there. If you want to pick up some swag, for the S3 podcast, go on over to nobossnorush.com or nobossnorush.myspreadshop.com. Matter of fact, don't even worry about remembering that. It's tagged on the Facebook page in the featured articles, No Boss, No Rush. Go ahead and support our show by picking up like a shirt or a coffee cup or a hat or whatever.
What are we on Facebook? Just the S3 podcast?
The S3 podcast. Right, that is us. You know, all these episodes, I don't think I've ever ended with follow us on Facebook at the S3 podcast. Wow, you really are the smart one. If they haven't figured that out already. Pretty sure they've already figured that one out.
Probably.
Pretty sure. We mean probably. Oh, what's for dinner? I'm hungry.
Hawaiian chicken.
Oh, now I'm really hungry. Absolutely. He's such a good cook. Such a good cook. That's it. Couple final notes. As always, Shout out to our men and women in uniform, past and present. Thank you so much for your service and your sacrifice. Hooah to all my Army veteran friends out there. And remember, if you're looking to start your first podcast, you can get a 1-month free trial of Podbean's unlimited hosting plan, which is what we use, by going to podbean.com/Coach JD. That is spelled, by the way, JD. That's it for the show. I'm JD. She's Lady M. Have a great night and keep loving sports. We'll see you later.